Everybody dance now.
Okay.
Step one, you put it in your pants. Step two, you make it with your hands. Step three, you add a little cheese. Step four, you mix it with your meat.
We're smart.
Crab nigga.
Okay, the actual scene.
The actual scene.
The big council of arcane goodness is taking place in Lemuria. Regniel Earthenlock is present, as is Helinde Forest River.
Oh God, she did get resurrected.
Yep.
Didn't she?
Tangled it.
Yarkaz Darnast is there, as well as Darian Blackheart, former Gold Arcan and son of Kirk Blackheart. He's an ancient half-elf.
Wow.
The current Gold Arcan, who is
Asher.
also ancient, Asher Vale, Renarian Wavecaster.
Yeah, Asher's
Archmage.
really old at this point.
The only reason he's still alive is the Silver Dragon blood.
So yeah.
Probably ancient. It looks cool as hell like that, because that silver dragon button looks awesome in an old man.
Renarian Wavecaster, former Archmage, uncle of Aragon, and present Archmage of Lemuria. Also present are you, Linnea Thonadel, Yarkaz's wife and a more powerful spellcaster than him, Darian's former apprentice and very, very prolific veteran of the Second Dragon War and War of Deific Magic, Alicia Mistmaker,
Wow.
Amarian's mother. She actually, when we fight, she is the most powerful character in our party. She's level 30. War Mage.
Good God.
War Mage Celestial Guard, the style of magic
Yeah.
that...
What Valden was like the first of.
She is like the...
She has that class maxed out. It's the class I made.
Jesus Christ.
You know, they
Okay.
fight with the spear and the bladed shield.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the razor blades tied off in her hair too.
She's awesome. And she's Lemurian though.
Ooh, so it's like blue razors.
Yep. Okay, there's also, I don't know what they would actually call him. He tries to call himself Rich, but his actual name is Richard Vale II. His dad calls him Red though, Little Red.
I thought Red died though.
Yeah, this is Asher's son. He named him after Master Red.
Oh!
He's Asher's son with Cylindra, who is also there. She's a high-up druid in the Black Willow. The other 9 Arcans that aren't Asher, they are there. The Council of 8, which is the Lemurian.
Still alive?
No, he's dead.
The Council of 8, which is the Lemurian, the
Yeah,
ages,
the
the
one-
old Lemurians, that are all, wise ones.
Amarion is there, and so is Vandir.
And Carlon.
And Carlon. So you're playing Cylindra and Solaris, and I'll be playing fucking everybody else.
A couple thousand years ago, the Violet Arcan was a sphinx whose wings had been withered by a curse that he couldn't get rid of.
Yeah, he actually died in the Siege of Tel'Vamor. He couldn't get out when the tower collapsed.
Both sad and kind of cool. That's the way that guy would go, yeah.
Who collapsed the tower to try to kill Alcival was the Valish Kostiakis.
That's it.
He was the Blue Arcan.
Kind of sad, actually.
That was the dude we had the planer bind who almost melted the Shadow Plane. You remember that fight now?
He was the guy that I slashed him up inside his armor and he slid out in pieces.
You were like, Karnos will be done.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool. So Regniel sits down at the table. We're all in Lemuria, this big ivory carved with waves and fucking shit. He sits down and says, this meeting now begins, says Renarian. I'll have Asher actually lead in. He is the Gold Arcan.
Okay. This is the first time in any world of Annarrion or Duran that we have all convened here. Thus you must all realize the pertinence of this situation, as most of you are not aware of the plight that has befallen our world and many others. From what I've gathered from Regniel and the others, we stand to not only fight dangers in Duran, but from worlds past, eons past, and from the plane of shadow and the abyss itself. The question herein lies what to deal with first, being as we are of all different dogmas and different ideologies, this purpose of this council is to convene and decide a plan of action as far as pertinence and priority. The Zalin have returned to this world, unbeknownst to most of you perhaps. They are not only, and these are not Zakin, the Zalin of Zakin, these are Avish's own breed, as has Avish returned. But would you know that?
If anyone did, it would be Asher.
That Avish himself has returned to Duran. That as the Zalin were once almost sentient and relatively non-violent as far as the Zalin goes, they are now the bloodthirsty beasts that once toppled the world prior to our own. As well as what has happened to Davern and a certain Annarrion sacrifice and the artifact that it has created that is in our possession, as well as from what the Harbinger of Karnos and the Shade Council themselves have informed me, the Shadow Valor have returned, seeking vengeance not only upon those who vanquished them, but, as before, those who stopped their takeover of this plane. I myself witnessed that battle, witnessed what happened to Telvin's Lord. These are no mere slight plights to our world. Every single one of these can spell the end of our world and the Virgin Lands themselves. So, the Council of Eight, the Shade Council, the 10 Archons, including myself, we must decide together if it is to stop this. For not one of us as a faction can stand up to all of these, and as many of you should know, a convening of power makes us a greater force than we can stand separated, period. Now, to the Lemurians in this council, I myself firsthand understand that you are a very isolated people. I mean no disrespect for that, as you are the longest lived race, typically out of all of us. Your main concern has always been to protect your lands, because Lemuria is your sacred city. The Zalin, the sea stands between you and the Zalin. Droves of Shadow Valor, however, will possibly decimate your world. The collapse of Davern and all who stop there stops many trade and commerce throughout our land that can cripple economies worldwide.
Davern is necessary to the survival of Lemuria.
Agreed.
And while we do not fear the Zalin here, it was before I was revived that this war between my nephew and this one you call Valernus transpired. But never before have the plains come so close to rending.
Correct.
I believe that with these Shadow Valors and through the actions of Forgive Me, but you from the Shade Court, you three, your comings and goings weaken the very fabric as well. All traces of this umbermancy need to be stopped.
Leonard
For a
Farnell
time.
stands forward. He waits for him to finish, but he steps forward.
Okay. To be stopped for a time to allow these boundaries to heal.
Planner workings. Excuse me if I may, Renarian. I'm not sure you yourself can fully comprehend it. Yes, we are all bound to the same plane, and we are all interwoven, yet separately existing. Our traversions and transgressions in between. may or may not weaken the boundaries, however,
Nay,
may or may not, the ramifications of which I myself am not sure. The Shade Courser, as you know, operates as a separate entity than the current god as of darkness. We operate under the vows that we also took Karnos. We did not bring the Shadow Valor here. Alstival did.
I'm not here to place blame. I am merely saying that no matter whose fault it was, this resurgence of umbermancy cannot stand.
Agreed. Umbermancy has been heavily policed for millennia. It is not something that is to be taken lightly. It is not something that has been meant to be bestowed freely upon mortals. For that, you have my apologies. Nonetheless, blame or plan of action as far as umbermancy is not truly our concern here. We have more pressing matters. Lord Annarrion.
I respectfully disagree, even if it means war with Kodamai. We need to contain this.
Surely Annarrion, as old as you are, and as the oldest living Annarrion in history, you yourself should know what world-spanning wars do. Forgive me, but our own world was decimated and is no more because of such. Because of the interference of gods into the lives of mortals to the point that they themselves identified with them, while I myself and none of us have technically achieved the level of godhood. We are the most powerful beings in this world. The gods themselves are no longer allowed to fiddle in our affairs, yet that is why we are here. Not even myself, I am no longer the right hand of a god, I am the right hand of the will of the Shade Court.
I understand your point, but we have a new life on this world. If the planes merge, there can be no life for us. Perhaps for you, but not all of us want to live as shadows.
Annarrion, are you proposing that the Shade Court and myself completely leave this world?
I'm saying that it is worth considering.
And it shall be. The Shade Court and myself will convene upon that and make our own decision with your own opinions in mind. You have my word. However, he steps forward and he's going to undo part of his silvery badass cloak because I don't want him to show up naked to a big house.
Yeah, I never knew what he wore.
He's going to show up and he's going to have a huge scar across his chest. Shadow Valors are not something to be trifled with, as neither are the Shade. To destroy a Shadow Valor, if he makes its way onto this plane, first, you must send it back in its home to two planes. To send it back to the realm of shadow and defeat it there, or defeat on this plane needs it to its home, in either the realm of shadow or the abyss. If that is the shadow and we defeat it upon the realm of shadow, it returns to the abyss only to be imprisoned for 100 years. For beings such as ourselves that it is gift of an eye. They are a constant threat. Annarrion and Regniel and myself, whether we wish to admit it or not, there is one artifact that, although as vile as the enchantment itself, there was only one in existence that has the power to trap souls completely inside it. And we are all aware of who possesses that. And this is not something that we take lightly, nor something that we even wish to acknowledge as an option. However, this is not just Iran, this is not just Annarrion we speak of, but existence itself that stands in the balance. There is no price that is not to be paid to stop this. And I think we can all agree upon that.
I do.
Now, with the Zalin, as said, oh,
At this point, there's a dark cloaked elf. You can only see about half of his face beneath his hood. Looks kind of broken up, actually, like he got beaten up a lot when he was younger and it didn't heal very well. Burst out, so wait, you want to use the most powerful, corrupting object in the world to fight the most terrifying creatures in existence? Am I the only one who sees a problem here? Or am I being insane again?
your name?
Loris Finraugo, Hand of Bjork.
Solaris, I have seen let's say I have seen firsthand in a past life something of maybe a little bit more terrible than this. I do not know if you live existence in this world. Are you familiar with what the Eye of the Kin is?
No idea.
For the price of 1 to 1 million men's lives, it can absorb the world itself into a ritual infinite abyss inside itself. That is the most terrible item that I have known to ever be existed, next to the Mana Spring itself.
Did that exist in this world other than the Mana Spring? I think I've heard of that.
Either way, I merely propose a drastic measure to the most drastic threat that any wolf has ever faced.
Well, you're a bit... Well, not a bit. You're tremendously more competent in your understanding of these planar workings and ancient divine magics of other worlds than I am, so I'll leave it to you if you think you can control yourself. Sorry I spoke out. He'll step back to behind Asher's left shoulder.
Asher's gonna step forward and be like, Solaris bears great weight to his words. That is one of the most terrible items that I myself have ever gained knowledge of throughout any world. Menethonodel, you realize to take possession of that what we must do. Wow, I have to roleplay with myself, damn. Not only do I realize it, but I volunteer. I fear that whatever was left of Adamus Ravenhair or Adamus Nightlock, whatever resemblance he bare to the friend that I once had in a past life is probably all but gone, but for the one chance that there is, I believe that it is worth saving him. I do not call many people friend, and nor do I have any left living, except Fortune.